Hello everybody, welcome to another video. We start this one off with a very quick German car.
Slow down now, mate. Can you see anything out of that car?
Did you spot that first time round? How can you see anything to the left? Second clip, another German car. If you need that much room to turn left, then maybe you should not be driving. Now in this clip, I know some of you are going to be blaming me for this, saying I should be driving a little bit more defensively. But what about the person coming towards me? This guy here. Why can't he drive defensively? He's pulling out of a turning. He's turning left. He's got cars parked on his side of the road. Now instead of just pulling out onto his side of the road, he pulls straight out onto my side of the road, and then it's down to me to stop and wait for him? I don't think so. And you'll notice the van at the end there. He cannot see through that, he cannot see over the top of that, and yet he drives straight out onto the opposite side of the road. Really aggressive. And why should I wait for him? Well, obviously I don't. But look at that, he's got a small child in the front seat with him as well, and he drives like that. Oh, and this is how you're supposed to do it. This here is perfect. That's what you're supposed to do. I guess it comes down to different styles of driving or different capabilities of driving. Now we're approaching the roundabout. Priority to traffic approaching from the right, remember, except if you're a bike. Now, he doesn't get in my way or anything like that. I'm just a little bit concerned that I didn't see him look at all. Now this guy, I'm not sure if he looked or just couldn't be bloody arsed.
Really? Really, mate?
Now I've said it lots of times, if you pull out and you make someone slow down or stop, you shouldn't have pulled out. And that applies to roundabouts as well. Now we come to this guy here. I've noticed his number plate. It's almost perfect for him, but I'm going to change it because that's what I think it should say. That's a little bit closer to how he drives. Or unfortunately, you're not going to see too much of how he drove earlier on because for some reason I was too late getting the clips off to the camera, and you missed the best bit behind me where he overtook me on a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit to get to this junction. He's a small bloke in a small car, so he's got small bloke syndrome. Not that there's anything wrong in being small, okay? So before the Oompa Loompas get in the comment section and start having a go at me, there's nothing wrong in being small, but you don't have to have attitude. So we get back to the clip here. We're stuck in traffic here. There's roadworks up in front. I don't know there's roadworks up in front at the moment. I used this road the day before and there was no roadworks on it, so I wasn't expecting roadworks. I wasn't expecting him to overtake me down a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit and give me attitude. He looked at me as if I was doing something wrong doing the speed limit down the road. It's a shame that I haven't got the clip to verify that, to show you, because a lot of people don't trust what I say. So there's roadworks up in front. People like him, they never venture out of the outside lane, so I'm going to go past him here on the inside lane. Nothing wrong in that. And at the moment, I still can't see the roadworks. But they're up there, up in front. And my lane that I'm in goes into the right-hand lane. This is speeded up, by the way. So you can tell how long we were there for. So this now turns into a bit of a merging turn. All of us lot in the left-hand lane here want to get out into the right-hand lane to go past the roadworks when it starts now. It starts off all right up in front there, as you can see, but you can see that that white car and the black car and the blue car are not going to let anyone in. They're too close to each other. That's done on purpose. The Range Rover lets in too, and now we come to Mr. Aggressive. Will he let anyone in? I very much doubt it. So here we come to the small bloke now. He's on my right-hand side, left as we're looking at it now. The car behind me has gone behind him, but I should really be in front of him now, behind the Range Rover, but he's got no intentions of doing that. In actual fact, he's sort of like blocking me off a little bit because we've had issues beforehand. So I'm behind him. The car that was directly behind me first of all has let me in. which is how merging turns work, but obviously he hasn't got a clue of how that works. He's just an aggressive little man. I did refrain from going ner as I drove past. I'm a little bit more grown up than that. Only just. But I did go past him again. As you can see, this lane here turns right as well, so he could have got in this lane and been a little bit further up, but he's an aggressive little man and he needs the outside lane. So the moral of the story is, don't be an aggressive little tit, it gets you nowhere. Now in this clip, I'm on the A316 coming back into London. As you can see, there's a slip road to my left hand side, and I'm letting the car in front of me. But without looking it up, I'm asking a question here. When does a slip road finish? There's no problem here between me and the red car. I let him in. That's what you're supposed to do. And I'm a nice guy. But when does a slip road finish? For me, it's when these two lines here, you can't actually fit a car in there. Even though the line goes all the way down there, what's the point? You can't fit a car in there. Now looking at this from the rear, you'll see a ridiculous manoeuvre from a car in a minute. There it goes, right across the hatch markings there. After being in the same lane as what I'm in, goes all the way down the slip road and a little bit more, because what I'm trying to say is his car is only just in that gap now. He's misused the slip road anyway to start off with, but then he actually does it a little bit more, and as you can see, he can't fit his car in that gap, and he's all the way down there and cuts in.
That's a tosser.
And I think I'm perfectly right with what I said there live. That is a complete and utter tosser. Now in this clip, we're coming to a very unusual junction here, because it's a four-way give-way junction. Every entrance to this junction has got give-way lines on. It's very rare in this country. I don't know of any other in this country that has them. So you've got to have your wits about you. You would think anyway. But look at that car there. She pulled up and she's on a mobile phone. And guess what? She's the first to bloody move.
Oh, look at that. Heading it into a junction and you're on the phone. In a car like that, it will have hands free.
Now a lot of people tell me, how can you see so many people on mobile phones without actually putting myself at risk by watching these people? Well, I don't always see them firsthand. It's after I review the camera. Like this guy here, I know that he's up to no good because of that gap in front of him. It's too big, so I know that I'm going to click the clicker and then review it later on when I get home. And when I reviewed it at home, I could see that there's his steering wheel there. He's holding his mobile phone with the other hand. A lot of the time, the camera doesn't pick these sort of things up, but that's how I can do it. I'm not always looking at that person. It's all about finding the clues. I can see the clues, and I'm not looking for their mobile phones, believe it or not. I'm looking to see if they're going to be doing something stupid in front of me that I have to avoid. Like this van coming up here. I know where it's going. I know that I might have to watch out for the car next to me now. He might want to be pulling out into my lane to avoid it. Luckily enough, the van got in there without no bother. It's all about looking further than the end of your bonnet. Having said that, this one was a little bit more difficult to work out what was going on. We've just gone past that junction from the last clip, and when we go past that junction, it generally speeds up here, but it's gone really slow, and I don't know why. But when I do figure out what's happened here, I've got to ask the question, and you'll see it in a second. Do cars break down differently nowadays than what they did in the old days? Do they just stop or something? Because it's another car that's broken down in the outside lane. Now, I've driven some right shit heaps in my time, and I've never had any of them break down in the outside lane. I've always been able to manage to get them to the hard shoulder. Now, sometimes road markings are pretty poor in this country at the moment, but not this one. This one's pretty clear. If you drive anything other than a German car, that is.
What's the matter with that lane?
Now, in the middle lane there, behind that car, there is a Burke in a Merc. He wants the next exit, but instead of going into the inside lane, he goes out to the outside lane. Now the slip road is fast approaching, and I'm moving out because it is backed up. And I don't want that lane. The inside lane actually becomes the slip road. You'll see in a minute, there's the sign up there, and as soon as I see the sign, I'm moving out. But the Burke in the Merc has gone the other way. He's gone out to the outside lane instead of going onto the inside lane. Now the car in front of the Burke in the Merc wants to do exactly the same thing. But the Burke in the Merc is not happy with that. He wants to go a little bit further. And I bet someone in the comments will say misuse of the horn. Well, you can do one. That geezer definitely needs to be told that he's a prat. And a dangerous prat at that. But we still haven't finished. Look at this car behind me. He wants to do exactly the same thing. But leaves it... Well... Could you leave it any later than that? Now in this clip we are looking at a driving instructor. It's not a learner, it's a driving instructor. Now you've got your name written all over that car. Why are you driving like that? Why are you showing so much impatience when someone's just turning left into their drive? Just wait behind them. You drive on the wrong side of the road to go round them. You're advertising your company's name all over your car. Now some people might say, well, it might not be even the instructor in there, but it's poor judgment from the instructor if he's lent that car out, his business, to one of his mates to drive anyway. So either way, it's shit. And speaking of shit, we have another Burke in a Merc coming towards us.
Move over. You can move over. Fucking hell.
In the office, in the pub, on the bus, on a
Do these people not know anything about driving? The size of their vehicle?
Well, I'm leaving this one up to you. Poor eyesight, or just don't give a shit. Can that right turn, that no right turn, be any bigger? Or any more obvious? And to finish off this compilation of idiots, there's always one that just will not wait in the queue like everybody else. We normally name them special. They're special. You can't quite see it yet because it's that special, it's left it that late. There he is. Ah, love him. Special. On that note, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.